My name's Nyla Khan, and I am 27. And over the past 10 years, my primary goal and mission has been working within the education space, primarily because I believe that education is the tool to create kind of the positive social change we want to see. And so I've worked across 5 countries and 4 continents. I've worked in inner city schools in Brooklyn, working on youth advocacy programs. I've worked in Greece at a refugee camp, building an early education environment there. I've worked in Brazil on educating men on sexual violence. And I've worked in, of course, Dubai and India. But I think I was around 12 when I first came out to my parents, as I like to say, and told them, my mother is Catholic, my dad's Muslim. They ran away and got married. So we grew up in an environment where we never really focused on one religion or one way of looking at the world. And I was 12 when I came out to my parents and I said, Mom, Dad, there's something incredibly wrong, because I used to watch a lot of Oprah Winfrey and Christiane Amanpour, because as a young girl you don't have many role models. The role models you have are models or actresses, and they're beautiful and they're great at what they do, but those are the only. So I came out to them and I told them, I said, I want to do something for children and women, but I want to do it through broadcast journalism, because I liked to speak a lot. I spoke too much. I was a huge problem for my parents. And then, because my parents were supporting me in my passion, I landed up going to university in New York, where I focused on gender and child development. I was such a rebellious, outspoken person, but I realized that that's not how you get your point across. You can't just tell people you have to be better. You can't expect people to just save the world. You have to learn how to strategically communicate. And so that's why I went into communications. And then in the middle of all of that, I was very unhappy, because I had worked, like I mentioned, in nonprofits my entire life. And now suddenly I was in a corporate. And at the same time, my mother, she really wanted to expand. She was tired, she was getting older, and she was struggling a little. And so she said, you have to do it. And I said, I want to be a teacher. I don't want to start a business. That's not me. And then I kind of just did it because I was very passionate about the children. And so I was 23 at the time. I started the 3rd nursery in 2016. I had no experience. I didn't know what a balance sheet was. I wasn't even a proper teacher at the time. So I was operating and starting this nursery really with no experience, except for the passion. I've made many mistakes, but the one thing I would say that was really beautiful about that journey was consistently, you just have to believe in yourself. My dream since I was a young girl was, I want to help as many people. And when I say help, I don't mean it in an idealistic way. I mean, I really want to create systems and institutions that create impact for people. Whether it's, and children are the most vulnerable people in our societies. And schools and education, that's a safe space for them. What if your home life, I can't say that I can control people's home lives. But what we can do is provide a safe space for children to come, where they can develop themselves, where they can find a safe space, and where they can grow up then to create kind of the positive impact we want to see in the world. The idea as a leader is not to be in complete control. You shouldn't be, because then you always have to be there. I think for me, the definition of being a leader was to start something that could run itself. How could I train the teachers? How could I train the manager? How could I create systems that operated without me having to be there? So that was my job for around 1.5 years, after which I started to consult with other people. So yeah, I think the whole idea of the entrepreneurship journey was it wasn't about starting a business. It was about solving a problem. And I think today we're consistently told, oh, why don't you become an entrepreneur? Why don't you start a business? Become the next unicorn, make your next 100 millions. But is what you're doing solving a problem? Did you start it because you were trying to solve a problem? And I think the most successful businesses are those that solve problems and honestly respond to the needs of people. It's not always been easy. People think that you're young and so you're not actually the boss. I've been mistaken for being the executive assistant many times, which is fine, I don't mind, as long as I can do what I have to. But I think the biggest challenge is my age. And I see it more so also because I'm a woman. many times I have to try and assert myself. Like I have a huge a pitch in the morning, and I'm more worried because I've stayed up all night about whether I have my concealer so I don't look tired, you know, or I have to dress a certain way because if I wear certain colors or if I, you know, so what some of the biggest challenges is age, is being a woman and being assertive, and then third is not everyone has their best intentions, you know, not everyone does, but like making sure that you're consistently confident. Like you have to psych yourself. You have to, like, there's times if you go into my room and I'll show you, every morning I wake up and I tell myself, and my mom taught me this. She said, always look at yourself and be like, I can do this, I can do this. So it doesn't come overnight. And that's why I said you have to consistently, even when like, every day is different, right? Some days you get, let's say you're running a business, you have extremely high sales. The next day you have extremely low sales, but you have to be resilient and you have to have a long-term vision. Having the long-term vision helps you with the short-term, you know, because if you know in 3 years, this is where I want to be, the short-term failures don't feel that much. And one thing I would say is never compromise on quality and your values for a quick win. Quick wins will be your biggest fallback because what is your value as a company, your reputation? If you compromise on your quality by cutting costs or by, you know, by honestly by being ingenuine, it can really harm your business. Whether you want to start a business or you want to do well in your career, you have to keep having a vision. That's what a vision is. It's a dream of being somewhere. You know, I've always believed my dreams are real. I've been a daydreamer growing up. And whenever I talk to, like, even if it's my younger sister or people I work with, I'm like, they'll say this is my dream, but they're like, I don't know if I can get there. I'm like, no, you can. You just need to put it out there in the world and keep reminding yourself that you can. So yeah.